Yo, what's going on? What's going on? Okay, this was a request. Well, actually, somebody just asked a question on the page, so I addressed it. And I felt like it has to be addressed. I don't give a shit who gets mad or whatever the case may be. But my overall thoughts, and by the way, I'm Terrell Hall of Fame, D-Line, and all that sweet, beautiful, wonderful shit. My overall thoughts on Dax. You know what I mean? Y'all excuse me because I'm up here texting at the same time. But the thing of it is this, I don't know where to begin, and this is why I say this. And I'm not trashing your dog if it has Dax in it. Trust me, I'm not totally against Dax in that fashion that we have to just blow the whole spot up, because I understand that this breed was almost, for lack of a better term, contaminated by Dax with his extremely heavy use of anywhere from 4,500 to 5,000 puppies. And then those puppies were bred just like he was, just bred. The American Bully community is, I don't have a real number. If I was guessing, I would say probably a third of every dog in the American Bully community right now probably has Dax blood. It's just that realistic, it's just that realistic, So, as far as what we do, I don't think that we double down on Dax. I definitely don't think we triple or quadruple down on Dax. I think what we do is, if we see dogs with Dax blood in there, we breed away from the properties that may affect our dogs later. Now, first and foremost, that starts with the idea that these dogs will, have already been bred in a way that they look a lot more presentable, where you don't see the high rear or the hip issues or some of the other issues that was, prevalent with a lot of Dax dogs. Second is, I prefer, and this is my preference, but I prefer to see Dax as no more than a grandfather or great grandfather, that level. I don't think, breeding his kids and as far away as he can get, that's the better. Great grandfather, that means his percentage is a lot lower. Now, it's not just to bang on Dax, and let me clear that up. But for those who don't know and you're just getting to this channel, I'll explain. These are the things that we know for sure about Dax. We know this positively. For one of the things that we know about Dax is that he had a significantly high rear, very straight stifles. It's very, very straight in the stifle. It also made for a sway back. These are physical issues. A little cow hawked in the back. And next off, besides that, he was a little longer in the back. But, those are all traits you wouldn't want in your dog. Next off would be the key issue that I've talked about, and one of the more persistent reasons why I warn people against trying to recreate the dog or breeding heavy line breeding his blood, and that is because the heart murmur issue. Not just the heart murmur, but I've heard other cardiovascular issues with the dog, pulmonary embolisms that develop, and multiple things, with the issues of breathing. But this is something that's a known fact with Dax. Most of his original offspring died early. And when I say most, don't you son of a bitches come on here and start with this posting 2 or 3 dogs that live long. There are a few. There's a couple I actually like, the boy Dallas, and of course, Lucky, Luciano, which is a beautiful dog. Those live longer. But if you go back to if you start looking down the list and the post of Dax dogs, a lot of them died very, very young. That's why you'll be hard pressed now if you start looking for Dax sons, because Dax been dead a few years. If you start looking for Dax sons, they're not there. The reason they're not there is because a ton of these dogs had severe heart issues or had cardio issues, so they couldn't breathe. This is a gene that's spread rampantly throughout the American Bully community. It's a gene that's almost like, you talk about a pandemic, pandemic Dax, because pandemic Dax put it out there. The high rear epidemic that we see, let's call it pandemic too. The high rear pandemic Dax, he brought that along with him. It's not a hate thing. This is a reality. The reality is, if we go to the very, smallest basis, the most minute thing about Dax, I'll tell you this. Dax himself, died, basically doing the breeding. The stress of the breeding itself killed the dog. And at this time, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but he was either 5 or 6 years old. He was still a young dog. And doing a breeding himself, killed this dog. So not only did he die at a young age, he died doing something that you're supposed to love doing. And something that's not that damn strenuous where you're supposed to die. And I've heard the stories where they say he was always supposed to be, if he was doing breedings, it was supposed to be done in a very, very cool room and this, that, and the other. That's not a way to breed a dog. So why would we want this genetics? This is the only place where y'all let hype overrule your common sense. It's the only place. If I came to you and I told you this, I told you, look, I got a dog with a high rear, stiff stifles, a bad back, has a history of cardiac issues. He's got a history of pulmonary issues. He's got, he died very, very young. His kids died very, very young. But I want to charge you $10,000. You can breed to the best dog that's ever lived in this breed. What would you tell me? Honestly, what would you tell me? That's what the fuck y'all do. That's what y'all do. If I told you, hey, I can get you a dog. He really doesn't look like the breed. He's got a kink tail. He's got a high rear. He acts very skittish, scary. Known for throwing deaf dogs. Known for throwing blind dogs. Known for throwing the high rear. Known for throwing other issues. Been tested positive that he can throw these issues. And you want to pay $20,000 for a stud? What would you do? See, somewhere in the game, whether it's Dax or whether it's other dogs, and I can go on and on and on, we have gotten to the point that we deny what's in front of our faces just to be accepted in places. Yeah, I was rhyming a little. But we really do deny right there what we see, just so that we can go and be a part of something and somebody can pat us on the back and we part of some kind of exclusive club that accepts bullshit. This is what we do. Because there's no way if we was sitting here one-on-one across the table from each other and I asked you, did you want your dog to be dead in the next 2 or 3 years, you would tell me yes. If I told you that you wanted customers to be calling you back because your dog's hips was so bad at 18 months that he could not longer live and they had to put him down, would you want that? If I told you that your dog's offspring would have an average lifespan of about 3 to 4 years, would you want that? I'll wait. But I don't think anybody's going to say they would want that. So after we say all of that, now I ask you, do you want a dog off of Dax? Or do you want a dog off of some of these other dogs that have been proven to do these things? See, most times y'all call everything, oh, he's hating. This person hating, that person hating. This person's hating, that person's hating. When you get so far off in your shit that hate is the same thing as the truth, it ain't no more that I can do for you. It ain't no more that anyone can do for you. You feel me? It's nothing that anyone can do for you when hate, you know what I mean? When hate becomes truth. I have to lie to you to not be hating on you. I have to lie about you to not be hating on you. I don't have a personal thing against a fucking dog. Do it the right way. When I get on this page, believe it or not, I don't know if it's any way y'all can check. This page is not monetized. I don't get paid to do this. I never have. People always be like, man, you got 10,000 viewers. 10,000 subscribers. And I thank y'all for that, by the way. You know why? You got to monetize it. They'll send you checks for this. I've never really had the interest in it. Because all I wanted to do was spit free game and tell people don't do things the wrong way. Don't do things the wrong way. That's all I ever wanted to do. Don't do things the wrong way. That's it. That's it. Up here pulling at my shorts. But when it comes down to it, that's all. This is how I feel about Dax. This is how I feel about a lot of other dogs. It's not my personal crusade because you don't like what I like. It's my personal crusade for you to stop lying to other people who want a real dog, and literally you're breaking kids' hearts because you're sending home bullshit. Not to mention the adults who have to pay for this shit and take that. Come on, man. So you want me as a real dog man and one of the pioneers of this breed to come on here and tell you, oh yeah, this shit is great. Yeah, go ahead and get all much. No, it's not. It's not. I don't care if it's my dog, if it's their dog, if it's whatever. If this dog is not living, it is not what it is, man. The ultimate loss you're going to take in this whole fucking life is death. You're dead. How can you win anything? How can you claim to be a winner? You literally have people profiting off of, you know what I'm saying, shit that's born to die immediately. And during that lifespan, you have to ask the question, how good can a dog live during a lifespan of pain? Because don't forget, I talked about the arthritic conditions. I talked about, well, I ain't talk about that, but I talked about how so many of these breeders who breed that blood and other bloods want to keep certain things secret. I have a friend, I have a friend. You know what I mean? And he don't mind me saying it. That's why I paused for a second. But he don't mind me saying it. One of his best dogs that one of his original dogs that he loved, the dog looked great and everything. You know what I mean? And he's a big name breeder also, was a Dax son. You know, he comes outside. The dog is only 3 years old. Boom, dead. Boom, dead. From that moment on, he vowed, you know. And the dog was impressive. I actually liked the dog. But the dog was impressive, but from that moment on, he vowed to never keep on doubling up on that blood, never try to do anything with that blood because it was heartbreaking. Why is this dog dead? Why is he just laying here, a healthy 3-year-old dog, eating the best food in the world, eating, you know what I'm saying, living in an air-conditioned house and just living his life, and next thing you know, Pandemic D comes along, gotcha. This is what I'm telling y'all. I don't care what dogs y'all follow. Before y'all call me a hater and this, that, and the other, man, I don't care what dogs y'all follow. I promote, you know, other breeders. I tell y'all what dogs I love. I tell y'all which dogs is doing right. The dogs that I tell y'all and I warn y'all against is because it's for good reason, and I always give you those good reasons. So if you want to consider it hate or whatever y'all want to consider it, man, you know, fuck you. Yes, the dog has to be able to run. The dog has to be able to withstand the elements. The dog has to be out there and get out there and grind. This is what we do. This is what we do as dog breeders. This is what we're supposed to be doing. If we're not doing this, then what are we doing? What are we doing? It's no hatred towards Dax, but what I feel about Dax is that his nuts should have been snipped a long time ago. If you have Dax in your program, breed away from Dax. I'm not telling you got to kill all the dogs. No, I'm not telling you that. But breed away from it. You don't need that shit. You don't need to keep on breeding towards that shit to make a good dog. And I'm telling you, the genetics have spoken for themselves. Everything I've told you in this video is fact. A little bit of research can show you that. It's not a good blood. It's not a good thing to go along with. It was the most hyped blood. It was the most bred blood. It was, you know, it was, if you talk about marketing and blowing something up, it was the greatest blood to ever live as far as blowing something up. But if you want to talk about health, structure, and helping the American bully breed, my God, it was not that. But with all that being said, maybe I've talked too much, you know. Until next time, God bless y'all. Peace.